Dan Moore is officially the Steelers' starting left tackle. And Zach Gentry joins the enemy. Big Deke news. The Steelers' depth chart was recently released, and after going through training camp and watching preseason, as expected, Dan Moore will be the team's starting left tackle come week 1. Here's what Coach Mike Tomlin had to say about the decision.
Mike, you guys released your first depth chart yesterday. Just from your observation, how did you see that left tackle job play out that allowed Dan Moore to keep his position there?
I thought he played really well. I thought he showed the growth and maturation that comes with the 1,000 or so snaps that he's played over the last 2 years. And so really comfortable there.
But where does that leave us with Broderick Jones? You know, the rookie left tackle that we traded up to get in the first round. I, like most people, thought that he would win out the competition over Dan Moore and be the starter in his first year. But here's what Mike Tomlin had to say on that side of things.
Also really excited about what Broderick showed us. And we were very thoughtful about making sure that he got a lot of reps during the course of development, particularly in preseason stadiums, and like the work that he did there. And so just feel really good about our left tackle position. Feel really good about Dan's growth and development. Feel really good about the acquisition of Broderick and how bright his future is. I know oftentimes depth charts produce stories, maybe what's wrong with Broderick, et cetera. There's nothing wrong with Broderick. There was nothing wrong with Cam Hayward when he watched. If you have a good team, if you have people playing well, oftentimes it means young, capable guys get an opportunity to watch as they grow and develop. And so that's the story of the left tackle position, and feel really comfortable about where we are.
Yeah, I agree 100% with both of Tomlin's statements here. This is more about Dan Moore playing good than an indictment on Broderick Jones. And Dan Moore playing good should be the case considering he's going into his third year, and this is coming off of 2 seasons in his rookie and sophomore year where he basically started all the games for the Steelers at left tackle. And it wasn't always pretty, but I thought he consistently improved along the way and was a fighter. So I don't think that fighting mentality was just going to stop, or that development was just going to stop because we drafted Broderick. And with Broderick, though, dude is just young. And if we didn't have a Dan Moore on the roster, I'd be fine with throwing him out there. But right now, I just really don't think it's needed, especially since, and this is to my shock, I didn't think the offseason was going to play out this way. Dan Moore got 96% of the first team reps during training camp. And then when the preseason games came around, who was he out there with? Exclusively the first team. Now, Broderick Jones did play a lot in these preseason games, but that was with the second and the third stringers. And I felt like he played well, but I think we all can admit for each game there was like a slip up or a hiccup that happened where Broderick would show his inexperience. So when you factor all of that together, I think right now for week 1 of the 2023 season, Dan Moore is the better option. And obviously the team thinks that as well. Now, this isn't to say, let's not go overboard here or anything, that picking Broderick Jones in the first round was a bad choice by the Steelers. I actually really like the comparison to whenever Cam Hayward came into the Steelers his rookie season. I think we could be patient about it, and again, I think the comparison was appropriate. But next topic, we got a former Steeler joining the enemy. Yesterday, tight end Zach Gentry signed with the Cincinnati Bengals practice squad. I figured he'd get picked up somewhere. Gentry is a quality tight end too, and unfortunately, this is a good move by the Bengals because Gentry might, at some point in the season, be like your locked-in tight end too. Because if you look at their depth chart, after Irv Smith Jr., who's their tight end 1, who's their depth? Drew Sample and Mitchell Wilcox? And even Irv Smith Jr., in and of his own right, isn't really a reliable guy either. So they might be counting on Gentry more than they thought whenever they just signed him. So not only did the Bengals get a guy who eventually could be on their 53-man roster and playing some minutes, but got a dude that was a part of your division rivals and can give you some hints and tips and whatnot on playbooks and schemes. So yeah, that sucks. Let's just be real. But also, at the same time, let's not act like this isn't a thing that's done around the league and is very common. You think it's a coincidence that the Steelers just picked up a random guard on their practice squad who was formerly with the 49ers this whole offseason? I don't think so. So, this shit happens. Obviously, we cut Gentry. He was free to sign anywhere. It's just a bummer that he went with the Bengals. And one quick note before I sign off, the Corey Trice Jr. injury that happened earlier in training camp has officially been labeled as an ACL injury. For me, that's not a surprise at all. He's been ruled out for the season, has been put on IR. All we can hope for is a speedy recovery and that he'll be good to go for 2024. But that is it for this edition of Big Deke News on a Wednesday. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on Dan Moore starting over Broderick Jones officially, and also Zach Gentry signing with the Bengals. That's it. Again, stay chilling and peace.